Wide with your Bloomberg brief. Here's Yahara Arnott. Hey, Yahara.
Hi, John. ADP's weekly jobless claims report shows that U.S. private payrolls fell an average of 2,500 per week over the 4-week period ending November 1st. It's a shallower drop from last week's figures, which showed a decline of over 11,000. ADP indicated that despite hiring having slowed from earlier this year, new hires are actually on the upswing. Meanwhile, the U.S. is expediting visas for foreign visitors with tickets to the World Cup. President Donald Trump said government agencies are working to ensure that soccer fans from around the world are properly vetted and able to come to the U.S. next summer easily. World Cup matches will take place in 11 U.S. cities. And Toyota is investing over $900 million to boost hybrid vehicle production in the U.S. The project will center on hybrid vehicles and component production across 5 states. The move underscores Toyota's bet that hybrids will dominate U.S. sales as consumers resist high EV prices following the end of tax credits. That's your Bloomberg Brief. John?
Yahara.
All right, back on YouTube, back live again. Second live stream for Khan. Yesterday was pretty decent. We had a pretty decent session. Took 3 trades, 2 wins, 1 loss. Loss was quite small. Win was decent, big size. I took another trade, 1 trade on the account that was up over, I think it was 800 when we left, something like that. And then I traded one more. I did another trade, 1 more trade on that account. It was a small win, but that was it. I didn't trade anything else. I had to leave. I was out for the evening. Kind of glad because it was pretty volatile, wasn't it, yesterday in the PM? Pretty crazy session. If you remember, I said yesterday on ES, I said this over here, this low, is an untapped low, meaning NQ took it out last Friday, but ES didn't. Okay, so there was some unfinished business for ES under those lows. So I was expecting ES to come down and fill that wick at some point. And I'm kind of glad it's happened quite early in the week rather than later in the week, because I think that sets us up for a nice rally for the remainder of this week, especially if NVIDIA earnings come out. There has been some jobs data released today. Not crazy. I think jobless claims ticking up again. Weakness in the labor markets persists. The ADP employment change wasn't too bad though. The prior one was 11.25. This one came in at -2.5. So that was not too bad. But the jobless claims is not heading in the right direction. I think the economy is slowing, especially on the jobs front. So maybe the Wall Street might perceive this as bullish because they think the Fed will cut rates. But the Fed, they're cutting rates in a weak market, jobs market. And I still think we will get a recession at some point. When it happens, we don't know. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at some levels that we're gonna look to trade today. Now that we have swept this low, am I expecting further downside? You can see we've got a really nice bounce once we took it. Once we took that liquidity, ES bounced really nicely from that level. So we've had the nice bounce. Are we going to take that low again? Possibly. Maybe a sweep again, and then we can start looking for higher prices. Again, the level for me to break to become fully bearish is on ES, will be here. Okay, and I will explain this later, how I'll come up with this bull bear method that I use. But 67.51 on ES, and it's 24.410 on Nasdaq. So it's getting quite close. If I see two daily candles, 2 daily candle closes under that low, for me, yeah, we're gonna get more downside. We're in full bear mode at that point, and yeah, I'll be looking to take 50-50 trades at that point, 50% shorts, 50% long setups. Right now, still at the moment, I still take 90% long trades and only maybe 5 or 10% short trades. So yeah, let's take a look at some levels for today. You can also see NQ's also swept as well, so that's another good thing. So liquidity has been swept pre-market. And when I see stuff like that, when liquidity is swept pre-market, I may be interested in a long trade at the open when we get a massive splurge of volume. I don't usually like to take it when VIX is so high,